Do you need her for a research? Do you need the court reporter for a research?
No.
Okay, we can do page 10, first one down. Jessica Cantu.
Jessica Cantu. Hello.
Hi.
I just want to say that this is often stay wrong. I just want to say that I'm mentally unstable, and I know my bond is up by $1,000 bond, and I don't know how enough time credit to actually get out on my PR bond, and then transfer me over to him for that. That's what I was asking.
Okay, so let me explain the legal process a little bit to you. So anyway, you're saying that the indictment is incorrect?
Yes.
So what will end up happening is your attorney will need to file a motion if he thinks there's a legal issue with the indictment. Now, if you think the indictment is incorrect because the date is something like that is wrong, then that's something you go to trial on, or either the state considers dismissing. Now, with regards to mental health issues, if you're saying you're incompetent,
Yes.
which means you are not understanding the process, that you don't have a rational understanding of the charges against you or a factual understanding. So what will end up happening is I am not, here's the thing, you will need a doctor, like a medical doctor will have to determine whether you're competent or incompetent. I'm not allowed to do that. With regards to any bond issues, your attorney will file a motion for bond. As soon as he wants that set, we'll take it in and take it up at that time, okay? That's something your attorney will need to discuss. No. Sometimes, no, here's the thing. There's no need to apologize. Let me ask you this. Are you an attorney?
No.
So you wouldn't know the process. So that's fine. Now, if you were an attorney, I would say, how could you not know this process? But you're not an attorney, so that's okay. So whether or not you can get this dismissed or not, your attorney will need to speak with the state, okay, and confer with them. Now, your attorney has informed the court that he has a mediation or something he has to go to. So what we'll do is we're going to reset this for next week. Your attorney can come in, have more time to speak with the prosecutors, okay? Your attorney will need to file that, but this is what I'll do. I'll have you evaluate it for a PR bond.
Okay.
Norma, if you can have her evaluate it for a PR bond.
Yes.
And counsel, we have a second violation report. We'll address that at that time. Ms. Ferguson, recall this. Can we recall this for Monday?
Yes.
Would you mind give me a Tuesday?
Okay, Norma, it's Tuesday, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
Oh, well, never
How
mind.
dare you ask for a Tuesday? You just don't want us to have a break? But Sean, he doesn't want us to have a break.
You're the hardest working court. Keep up that reputation. Wednesday works better.
All right, so we're gonna bring you back on Wednesday.
And does the PR bond qualify for like say because I actually I had a PR bond interview. I don't know.
Let me just tell you what the issue is. I'm gonna have them review you for a PR bond, but you were previously on a PR bond. And I'm gonna give this to your attorney so he'll have a copy and be ready to proceed on it next time. The problem is you never report it.
Yes, it actually was
Wait, don't tell me about what happened. You'll need to discuss it with your attorney because there are certain things your attorney may not want the court to know, okay?
And then one thing, I completed successfully on my probation. So is there any way that I qualify for probation?
That's something that your attorney will need to speak to the state about.
We're not quite there yet.
So is there any way that I can get a PR bond from today?
No,
Okay,
not today.
okay.
So we're gonna bring you back on Wednesday, okay?
Have a seat, ma'am.
Do you know what might happen to me?
No, I won't know until they present things, okay? Okay, yes, yes.
Yes, because we don't have because we don't have.
Yes, no, it's set on Wednesday because we have the holiday on.
So he has to be in check. I understand what's going on.
I was like, you were telling, I'm like, what? All right, the court is calling 2025 CR 002-568W State versus Lupe Collin. Now parties approach and announce for the record, please.
Well, this room from Ms. Colleen?
Oh, it's Colleen.
Yes.
Thank you. And are you Lupe Colleen?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the document entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Lupe Colleen who was placed on community supervision in 2025 CR 002-568W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance penalty group 1, less than 1 gram on February 27, 2025 for a term of 2 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 24th day of October 2025 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Lupe Gregorio Colleen, that committed the offense of possession of a controlled substance in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
Violated condition number 4, in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant Lupe Gregorio Colleen, then and there failed to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of August and September 2025 in violation of condition number 1. I'm sorry, 4.
4, thank you. How do you plead to that, true or not?
State will waive the remaining.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violations 1, 4, and 4, the court could find it true, grant the motion, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $1,000 fine?
Yes,
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to 1, 1, and 4?
yes, ma'am.
Court will find 1, 1, and 4 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
Yes, Judge, the proposed agreement is to deny state's motion of allow alteration to amend to include status with hazard care.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Right. Do you want to raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record. All right, so why is it that you didn't report?
In the process of being homeless and everything, it was chaos in my head.
So why didn't you call probation and tell them what was happening with you?
And then corporation told me I didn't have money or anything that was in service. I know we can use Wi-Fi and all that, but being homeless and, you know, paperwork and the name of the probation officer and her number.
See, this is what you need to explain to me, and really, this is something I want you to understand. You can't report to probation. You can't do certain things because all these obstacles are in your way, but you're able to find time to commit a new offense, which is the possession case. So you're able to find time to do that, but not report to probation. Here's the thing, they want you to do inpatient treatment. You know yourself better than I do, better than probation does, better than your attorney knows you, right? I'm going to give you a choice, right? I can deny the motion. You will go to inpatient treatment. You're going to wait for a bed. That program is 9 months, 6 months there, 3 months aftercare. Or I can revoke you and I'll sentence you to 18 months in the state jail facility. Do you need to discuss it with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
All right, so what do you prefer?
The set.
All right, court will deny the motion. Alternate amend conditions. Is it safety?
Out of just,
All right, SATA. And there is to be 30 sober support meetings upon release. And do you have any children?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Are they adults or no?
They're all adults.
Do you have grandchildren?
Yes, I do.
Are they adults?
No, ma'am.
All right. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. When's the last time you were employed? I'm sorry, state, you may be excused.
It's been quite a while.
So how have you been supporting yourself, or have you not been supporting yourself?
I will go and donate.
I'm sorry, what?
I go donate plasma.
All right, so there's going to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. When you worked previously, what did you do?
I was working at it. Before I stopped working, I would work at a service. For the temp service, I was working at a good one.
Okay, and how far did you go in school?
I did not graduate, but I do have my GED.
If you could have a dream job, what's your passion? What would you like to do?
My passion would be to have my own company as in landscape.
All right, so there is going to be 80 hours of community service restitution. And if you get into landscaping and set up your own business for landscaping, I'll deem the community service hours satisfied. Otherwise, you know, it gets hot in Texas. They'll have you picking up trash along the highways and byways. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's going to be regular random UAs upon release. Probation, is there anything else? All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, in this court, communication with probation is key to be successful. If you don't communicate with them, they don't know what's going on in your life. Sometimes people fall on hard times, but for you to just disappear is not a good thing. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If there's an issue, let probation know about it. If you feel as though they're not addressing it, you can always come back to the court. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you, counsel. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, motion to-
State versus Dejanay Miller Havana. Can I have parties reannounced, please?
Megan Gowrie for the state.
Jody Sawyer's the defense.
All right, is there any other evidence to be presented by either side?
And not by the defense.
All right, court will hear brief argument.
Thank you. Your Honor, first off,
Yes.
Did y'all reserve,
All right.
First off, we're not condoning the behavior, but I think we need to keep it in perspective. I understand that a video caused sensational backlash, but the reality is there's no visible injuries to the dog. The dog was not physically maimed in any way. And when you think about that in our justice system, we don't really honor an eye for an eye, but in this case, probably the more appropriate punishment, in addition to having been
humiliated socially. And that is a huge thing. This has been a very difficult situation for her to live through, being threatened and all of that. But, you know, it's a flaccid leash. And when I went to high school, they did corporate punishment. I don't see, if this is so egregious, then the punishment really should match the crime and have her ordered to be struck 17 times with the same leash that she struck the dog with. That's more appropriate. But I disagree with the fact that the state is asking for a jail sanction here. This young lady has no prior criminal history. She is got straight A's. She is employed. And again, like I said, neither she nor I are condoning her behavior, where she's taking responsibility for it. But it needs to be kept in perspective in regards to her being a first-time offender. No rehabilitation or mental health has been given to her at this stage. So I believe that that would be appropriate. I am asking the court to consider the fact that torture, while the court has found that it is sufficiently met, the elements sufficiently met here, there is no lesser included. And it doesn't even require bodily injury. So on the scale of this particular type of offense and the things that we see in our practice, you and I have, I think, been doing this for over 20 years. You know, we have seen egregious cases that fall on the scale that are very offensive. And while this is not something that we condone, I do not think it falls on the extreme of this type of offense, even if the court believes the elements were met. I am asking the court to grant her deferred adjudication, give her the ability to prove herself. I believe that with no prior criminal history, we shouldn't jump into any kind of jail time or prison time for that matter. And I'm asking that the court order anger management and all the things that the pre-sentence investigation we're talking about, with the exception of a jail sanction. I also want to point out that in the pre-sentence investigation, she stated that the way that she was raised was discipline was love. It was synonymous, that if you weren't disciplined, you weren't loved. And I'm not saying that, again, no one's trying to excuse the behavior, but I think that's an educational thing. She was treated the same way growing up, and it's something that we do need as a society address. And some of maybe the way we see things, and maybe even the way that society sees things and does things openly, and does it and is condoning openly to animals. For instance, shock collars that are sold. You know, there's things that our society accepts, and while I'm not saying that what she did is acceptable, I just don't think it rises to the level of being as egregious as it may have appear on the video based off of the actual result. And I believe this is a result-oriented crime, and so we're asking the court to give community deferred adjudication. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state is asking for community supervision with the 80-day jail sanction based on the fact that this is an egregious act. Thanos was a 3-month-old puppy that was defenseless, and although he's not verbal, cannot speak with words, that video speaks for itself. He was yelping in pain as she struck him what appeared to be 17 times while muzzling his mouth, presumably to keep him from making sound. Ms. Miller testified here today that it was cold outside, and he initially was outside for leash training. When she came into the presence of officers, she told them he was outside because he had soiled in his kennel. She told you today in court that he was out there with blankets, but as you can see in the videos, that's not the case. She initially lied to officers during the welfare check. She said nothing was wrong and that others had dogs in the unit, knowing full well that she had just struck Thanos, and that the officers were aware of the fact that she had done that because they saw the video prior to making contact with her. Her acts were callous. He was muzzled and she struck him. He got away and she continued to hit him. Defense would have the court believe that not all 17 blows were to Thanos, and she mentioned the pop-up kennel. However, in the video, you can see that pop-up temporary kennel wasn't moving, as if she was hitting that kennel instead of the dog. She then agreed to sell the dog to Miss Rubio. First, the price was $300, then it went up and up again once she realized that it would be an inconvenience for her to not break even. And I would assert inconvenience would be a theme here today. Miss Miller states that she cannot do a jail sanction because it would be an inconvenience for work. It would be an inconvenience to her life, but that inconvenience should have been thought of prior to even getting the dog for ownership. She testified that unfortunately her father passed away in 2023, but this incident would occur 1 year and 6 months later approximately. Pet ownership is very important. Judge, we need to afford animals that cannot speak for themselves and all things that can't speak for themselves great protection. And so we would ask that you do community supervision, even in transport with Officer Park. She was making light of the situation, stating she would remember that song for the rest of her life. But I would urge this court to show Miss Miller that she shouldn't remember the song that was playing during transport, but rather she should remember the cries of Thanos while she was beating him 17 times. Because of this, Judge, we would ask that you consider the totality of the evidence presented to you and sentenced her to community supervision for 10 years, as well as allowing no pets, anger management, the pause course, and 180 days of jail.
All right. So this is what I'm going to tell you. When I have cases before me, I look at each case individually, right? Because somebody will come before me, and I've had people argue before me. Oh, there's somebody who had an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon where they shot somebody, they got probation, didn't get jail time. So I always try to remind people that each case is different. That's why I look at cases individually. I don't try to figure out, oh, this is what happened in this case, or this is what happened in this case. I just have to deal with the facts that are before me, right? And I understand everything that your attorney said. I understand that you don't have any criminal history. I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can give people choices, sometimes I can't. But these are your only choices. And I'm going to give you a chance to discuss it with your attorney before you decide. All right. So here's your choice. One, I will either give you deferred adjudication, and I will give you deferred adjudication. I don't think 10 years deferred. I'll give you 8 years deferred adjudication. Or with that deferred adjudication, you're going to do some jail time. Or you will have a conviction and I won't give you any jail time, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, really all of the time, cases are about rehabilitation, but there's a form of punishment in it. So your only choices are, I'll give you deferred adjudication, but you'll do some jail time as a condition, or either you'll have a conviction and you won't have any jail time as a condition. I'll give you a chance to discuss that with your attorney.
Yeah.
All right, who's here on Cullen O'Neill?
Here you are, right.
And what page is Cloud on, please? Oh, thank you. All right, the court is back on the record, and 2025 CR 001454 State versus Havana Miller. The parties please re-announce.
Lauren Espinosa for the state, Jody Sawyers for the defense.
All right, have you had a chance to speak with your attorney? And which do you prefer?
She would take the probation, the conviction.
All right, so the court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, or full-time study within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, 150 hours of community service restitution. There's to be anger management. And I'm sorry, what is the class involving animals? All right. The pause class, there's to be no pet ownership. Now, what do I mean about no pet ownership? Not a pet, not a single pet, not even a goldfish. Do you understand?
Yes.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. The MRT, there's a $2,000 fine. That will be probated. Probation. Is there anything else? All right. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on probation?
I would like clarification on how do I prove my work in my school?
Oh, probation will go over that with you. All right. Anything else? Anything else from the state? All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Here's this. Yes.
All right, this is a plea bargain agreement. You do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to any pretrial motions that were filed and ruled upon. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Animals are helpless, right? And they depend on you to provide for them. And if you don't have the patience to have a pet, then guess what? You shouldn't have a pet. The end of story, because they depend on you for food and everything. And maybe people shouldn't be beating horses as they run around the track at full speed. I don't watch it, right? But our society doesn't equate racing a horse around the track with pets, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bullfighting, should there be bullfighting? But they don't equate that with pets. Maybe one day they will, but for now they don't. And so you're not allowed to have any pets, and you're not allowed to babysit children. You're not allowed to do any of that. Do you understand? All right, there is a pause. Are you babysitting?
I have nieces and nephews and I've never done anything to them.
No, you're not allowed to babysit. And let me just explain to you why I'm saying that. Because your patience with your pet, you lost it. And at this point in time, you cannot babysit children at all. You understand?
Is that just during probation?
Yeah, I mean, I can only order what I can order and no gum chewing. I can only order what I can order while you're on probation. So for these 8 years, yeah, no babysitting.
I do have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't plan on it, but 8 years, I'll be almost 30. If I find up pregnant or have my own child at that time, what was,
Oh,
what's the
you-
difference?
Here's my thing. I always tell people, let's not cross bridges until they're built.
No, it was just a
Yeah,
question.
That's what I'm saying. I can't see in the future. I don't know how you're gonna be doing on probation.
Right, but would I be like in violation?
What she's saying at this point is she's gonna
Just
ask for you to
don't let it-
label it. If it becomes an issue, we will.
And your attorney can approach that on, because you can see there are many circumstances where you're telling me that. And then maybe it wouldn't be appropriate, but then if it wasn't appropriate, Child Protective Services would probably be involved, right?
Okay.
So I can't look into the future and see how you're gonna do, but what I can tell you is we'll cross that bridge if we come to it. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.